Hey guys, my name is Priscilla Elias, and one of my favorite things in photography is to shoot outdoors. Shooting outdoors can be the easiest or the most challenging situation depending on a couple of things we will talk about today. It is the type of photography I have most done in my life, and I still keep doing it frequently, and for that reason I decided to share the best tips I have for you to get the best out of your outdoor photo shoot. There's a beauty of shooting indoors. You have a controlled environment where you set your camera, you set your lights, you set your tripod, you know what there is inside, and for that reason, it is easier for you to plan your shot in detail. If you close your curtains and you use lights, you can take as long as you want to take your shots, as the light will remain the same, nothing will move, you have all the time in the world to think through your shots. But shooting outdoors, oh man, I just love shooting outdoors. Why? Because even when you plan ahead, there are always surprises. You get to know new places, the place you decided to shoot has gotten a new paint, or the landscape is simply different because of the season or because of the weather. There are different people walking by, different lights every minute. Things change all the time. That can be great and that can be awful as well. It depends. But if you memorize the tips I'm about to give you, you will not be afraid of shooting outdoors ever again. Just like me, you will happily expect for the surprises to come for your photo shoot. Without further ado, the first tip I have for you to get the best out of your outdoor photo shoot is choose the best time. It doesn't matter how nice or how bad is the location you're going to shoot, as long as you choose the best time to do that. And what I mean by that is, depending on the time of the day and on the season you're shooting, you will have great or bad light. If you shoot around noon on a sunny summer day, for example, you will have a very hard light coming from the top that will easily create heavy shadows on your subject. Of course, as photographers, many times that's all we have and we need to deal with that. In that case, you can use diffusers, reflectors, you can find shadows, choose creative angles, but you will probably have a harder time to go through this photo shoot than if you plan your photo shoot for the beginning or for the end of the day, about 1.5 hours after sunrise or before sunset, when we have the so-called golden hour. Maybe as a creator you want to have shadows and hard light, then that is fine to shoot when the sun is higher in the sky, but most of the time the best photos are the ones where you have soft, well-diffused light, especially but not only for portraits. So think wisely about the time of the day you intend to shoot. I strongly recommend the beginning of the morning or the end of the afternoon for sunny days, especially during the summer when the light is very hard. As for cloudy days, then you can usually shoot when the sun is higher, since you will already have the clouds as your natural giant diffuser. If you have no choice, consider shooting in the shadow or consider having reflectors and diffusers. Maybe even an external flashlight to overpower the sun, but I won't go through that today, as it will be easier and more fun if you just follow my tip and choose the best time of the day to shoot. Tip number 2, the perfect lens. This tip is valid not only for outdoor photo shoots, but it is extremely important for them also. Choose the best lens for the type of photo shoot you have in mind. Usually for my portrait sessions, I take both my 85mm 1.8 and my 16-35 2.8. That way I can get nice portraits with beautiful bokeh and also cool wide open shots, so that I can show the location where I'm shooting. For weddings, I use at least 3 lenses throughout the day: the 24-70mm 2.8 for versatility, the 85mm 1.8 for portraits, and the 100mm 2.8 macro for detail shots of the jewelry, invitation, and stuff like that. If I would have only one lens with me, it would be the 24-70 2.8 for sure, as it is more versatile, for weddings of course. For product photo shoots, I'd go with the 100mm 2.8 macro. For landscapes, I'd go with the 16-35 2.8. and so on. Think about where you're going to shoot and what you want to achieve with your photo session before the day. Then take the lenses you will need for that. It will make the whole difference in terms of results. Tip number 3. find the best light direction. Just as it is important to find the best time of the day for your photo shoot, it is also important to find the best light direction during your sessions. Point your camera to your subject and take a walk around to see where you get the best light for your photo. It is important to light your subject's face, so try to face it in the direction the light hits it beautifully. If you want softer and more even portraits, find the direction where the light hits the face evenly. If you want more dramatic ones, point your subject in a 45-degree angle to the main source of light, in this case the sun, and you will create some interesting shadows to one side of the face, keeping the other well lit. If you're not sure on how to do that, experiment a little. And if you have no idea of what looks good or not in terms of lighting, as it happened to me when I first started photography, then I suggest you watch a video I did entirely talking about how to find the best light direction, where I'll show you some practical examples of me shooting outdoors, so you will be able to see what to look after and how to achieve certain results on your photo shoots. I will leave a link for that video up here and in the description also. Tip number 4. Take a reflector with you. You might go out there, find the perfect spot, but then in order for you to be able to frame your subject with the background you had in mind, you will have your subject standing in a direction where the light is not so good. Taking a reflector can help you to fix that. It will help you to fill up the shadows by reflecting the light back to your subject. I don't often use external flashes to shoot during the day, but sometimes I do, especially when I want to overpower the sun or if I want to shoot in a specific direction that is opposite of the good light direction. If you have an external flash, the diffuser can be even more helpful, since you can point your flash to it and just use the light reflected by the reflector to lighten your subject in a more diffused and beautiful way. So if you have a photo shoot where you need to shoot in a specific wall, a specific spot and/or a specific direction, having a strobe or a speed light and diffusers might also be a good idea. If not, if you're going to be able to experiment and go with the flow of the light, which is something that happens a lot when I shoot portrait photo tours, for example, then the reflector should be more than enough for you. Tip number 5. Create bokeh with sunlight. Have the sun behind your subject and shoot through some trees or objects in the background. This is a tip that did not sound very obvious to me in the beginning, because in my mind I needed to find the right light direction, and the best one would be to have the light in a 45-degree angle to my subject, or even right in front of the face up here. Then how the heck would my photos look nice if my main light, the sun, was behind my subject? The fact is, if you choose a good time of the day to shoot, as we talked about before, especially on the beginning and at the end of the day, and if you have an open field or a well-lit environment in front of your subject, you will possibly have more than enough light reflecting on your subject's face to still be able to shoot it against the sun and catch these beautiful bokeh lights at the background. If that's not your case, if you don't have an open field, and if you realize you're not being able to light your subject enough when you shoot against the sun, then again, an external flash with a diffuser pointed in a 45-degree angle facing your subject might be all you need to fix that and to get both the bokeh and a well-lit face of your subject. You will definitely get dope results with this tip. I still have 3 more tips to go, but before I go on, if you're enjoying this video, please consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't already, and also consider hitting the like button. You will help me very much to keep creating content just like this one. It will make me super happy and thankful. Tip number 6, choose the right background. This might sound pretty obvious, but a good background does not always mean having whatever you think is the most beautiful in the location in your photo. What I mean when I say this is, sometimes you see a beautiful building, but then when you frame your subject in front of that building, it just does not look nice. That's when you need to keep this tip in mind. Maybe the building is the nicest thing when you look at it with your eyes, but when you frame it with your camera, you have a lens that does not capture it in a nice way. Or maybe you're just pointing your camera in the wrong direction or angle. And how to know what the right direction or angle is? This is when composition is key. It is 50% of your photo. Try framing your subject. Think of leading lines you could use. Place your subject in one of the junctions of the line from the rule of thirds using the grid in your camera. Go up, go down, try different angles, and have an open mind to simply change the direction and maybe end up having a background that might be much more interesting in your photo than the original one you had in mind. If you have some composition rules in mind, you will feel much more secure to look for angles and find the sweet spots for your photos. So if what I said here now was not enough for you to understand composition, please check out the video I will link up here. It will certainly help you out with all the details you need to improve your composition skills. Tip number 7, shoot in RAW. Why would you not take advantage of your camera's best resolution? The more details your image has when it comes straight from your camera, the more you will be able to manipulate your editing. That's the main reason why you should always shoot in RAW. If you shoot in small JPEG, for example, you might not be able to spot the differences in your computer screen, but once you start editing and try to bring up your shadows or bring down your highlights, for example, you will quickly notice the huge difference between a JPEG and a RAW file. The RAW file keeps all the data from your sensor, while the JPEG file processes that data and adapts it according to what your camera believes is best. The result? If you shoot in JPEG, you will have less possibilities of editing, as with very little manipulation, your photo will start to lose quality. It's like if the image starts breaking or something like that. Tip number 8, take more photos. That's my final tip. Take more photos. The more photos you take, the more are your chances you will end up with amazing shots. Don't be afraid of taking some extra shots. It might be what separates a good photo session from an outstanding one. This tip is just as fast and simple as that, and this is where this video ends. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Please tag me on Instagram if you go out there to shoot some outdoor photos after you watch this video. Thanks so much for watching me, guys, and I will see you in the next video. Ciao!